Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have
Caitlin playing Fable Frost, the Ace Genasi Phoenix Soul Sorcerer.
I'm Megan. I'm playing Sarai Landir, the Eladrin Glamour Bard.
Howdy, y'all. This is Maz. I'm playing Talroth Oakenblade, the Wood Elf Scout.
All right. So, with us tonight, it is a limited cast. So, do bear with us, but we are super happy to be here with you guys for a bit of the good old-fashioned Dungeons and or Dragons this evening. Hope you guys are having a great time. Before we get into tonight's adventure, we do have a brief announcement about our good friends over at Norse Foundry. Caitlin, would you like to tell us about Norse Foundry?
Hey, guess what? They make metal dice. They're awesome.
Oh.
I know. That was the simplest, easiest. If you have a need for gorgeous, beautiful dice in your life, and you all do because you're all gorgeous and beautiful, get you some Norse Foundry dice. Metal and gemstone dice by the people who also bring you very, very awesome dice boxes and coins and all the things I wish that I had in front of me. But I have this boulder. It's a nice boulder. And you can use the discount code REPRPG, that's REPRPG, for 15% off of your entire order.
Absolutely, and that is going to be, and it's a good amount. It's a great discount, definitely takes care of shipping in most cases, and they have tremendous stuff, so definitely do that. Everybody that has joined us for the PvP stuff, we will have more information coming out soon. We are sifting through our applicants, and we hope to have a cast out very shortly. And we'll have a schedule for the league and all of those good things, along with details about other opportunities. There's been such a tremendous response. Even we want to have other day of tournaments and minor leagues and things like that. So definitely keep your eyes and ears on the social medias for all of those things. All right. Now, is that it? I think that's everything I got, right? Everybody good? Sounds good to me. Let's get into tonight's adventure, shall we? Our adventure takes place in the lands of Lickdrocht. They are lands of myth, legend. They are lands where one can decide their fate with enough force of will and blood. Our heroes are the Archivists. They have been on a epic journey across the continent of Lickdrocht to find the Forge, and this, their penultimate stop, has taken them to a variety of ancient dwarven and giant fortresses as they have attempted to aid the House of Shields in their reclamation of their ancient history. Ancient history, I say, like grandfather's history for dwarves, but you know, for us humans, it was a long time ago. So yes. They have just returned from the Frozen Fjord, where the Black King's crown sits, and they have brought back with them the divine shield, divine crown, helmet, circlet ring, right, of the frozen giants of the north, having bested a spirit of ancient winter and malice, and earned the respect of those ghostly embodiments. Here in the House of Shields, it is a large dwarven fortress past its prime, but our heroes have been able to bring back not only relics from each of these different societies, but also a number of allies from the Forge of the Fist. And so this is where we pick up once again with Beardran and his seneschal, or well, that's the wrong word, and his second in command. Yeah, okay, maybe it was. Adrian? Adric?
Oh. Hadric, yeah.
Hadric. There it is. Look at me, remembering names I made up. Ugh, it's weird. You guys have had a long rest. You have had the opportunity to level up, and so the final portal awaits. Just probably need to speak with Beardrin and Hadric and see what is left to come. But yeah, you guys are pretty much to the point where opening the Black King's chambers is the last remaining step. So, what would you guys like to do today?
I need to go shopping for any health potions that are available.
Okay.
We have been gone for like a couple of days on each of these excursions, and we haven't gone shopping when we've come back.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, they'd be able to have made new ones.
Potentially, yeah. We can definitely give it a search. You guys have been bringing back some very worthwhile accoutrement and things to be crafted materials. There it is. That's
Because
what I wanted to say.
I for one would like some healing potions, as I, for my own health, often have to play separate, and I don't have access to healing spells as a sorcerer. So I'd like some glug glugs, please. Let's buy all of them.
Like some glug glugs.
Okay, it's not Friday. Let's calm down.
Wait,
Oh.
I didn't. I'm just gonna never talk again.
Love you. I didn't do it. You did it. You called it Friday. So, yeah. So as far as the local alchemist go, I don't remember their names, but yeah. Biffer's Brewery. There is
Is it Beaver Sutherland? Because that it needs to be.
no.
Damn.
That's in the northern
Beaver and
mountains.
Kiefer. Yeah.
No, that was Leifer. That was Leifer, so Northerland. And he had his cousin, whose name was Keither, who lived in the Sutherlands.
I think I'm going to burst into flame now. Just from frustration.
That is on
So,
you.
Bafer, what you got for us, lad?
Right, so let's see what we got here. We've been able to brew us a fine fire giant strength potion. So that one is a decent amount there. And what else have we got going here? I've got 3 basic healing potions, but that's about all I've got on that front.
I'll take all 3, thank you.
Right. So that is 75 apiece for 225 total.
Do you have it? Do you need help? I have it.
Oh no, I'm good.
Killed so many bugs.
Yes. So cool. She's going to hand. We all get one. Everybody gets a potion.
Basic healing potion.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, did we get the chance to long rest?
Yes.
Thank you.
The only other thing I'm seeing here that might be of interest to you is a potion of growth.
Go on. How much?
For the potion of growth, I say about 300.
Done.
Right?
Not bad.
Who would be best with that?
I would like to be a giant freezing ball of fire. I don't think it'll help me though. So just for visual's sake, I think it'd be hilarious.
Does it add? What is it?
What does it do?
We gain the benefits of Enlarge from the Enlarge Reduce spell for 1 hour.
So it's the
And-
melee.
And we have 2 of those in the bag of holding already.
That's still good to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
So
take one of those.
the benefits of Enlarge, for those of you that don't know, your target size doubles in all dimensions, and its weight is multiplied by 8. Growth increases its size by 1 category from medium to large, for example. There will be enough room. Until the spell ends, you have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Your weapons also grow to match size. These weapons are enlarged. The target's attacks with them deal 1d4 extra damage.
So how about you both take one?
Okay, I don't have any melee weapons, but okay.
Wait, no, you got a melee weapon? Didn't I get you that adamantine dagger a while back?
No, I don't get in fighting range of people, and I don't have anything but I don't even have a staff. I have a staff. I think technically it's just a wooden stick. I have any special weapons.
Would you like one?
Sure, I can stab people if that's fine with you.
He did
he?
specifically dip one in adamantine for you.
Oh, because we all needed I've never used it. We all needed an adamantine something. How do I dagger? It's been a minute since I played a rogue or anything that stabbed. Okay, thanks. I'll use that.
Yeah, it's 1d4 damage.
Thanks.
Proficiency plus what's higher, your dex or your strength?
My dex.
So
We also have a rapier and a sword cane in the bag of holding if Sarai needs something.
I have a dagger too.
Ooh. Well,
Thank
now
you.
it'll be d4 now then, because it's an extra d4 of damage with enlarge.
Mhm.
Sorry. Excited purr.
Cool. There's no chance they'd have new equipment, so never mind. Beardrin, is there
What sort of equipment did you want to look for?
I'm looking for those stupid flying boots.
Oh, I mean that seems very unlikely.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-mm. Negative.
Pattern's full. Okay. I'm good for shopping if we want to go chat with Beardrin to get more info, if we can.
Yep, that's fine with me.
Yeah, still got a couple things to sell off, like unless Sarai was keeping the chest of fine clothes and jewelry that we took from the dragons.
Yes, those are hers now.
So 1,500 gold worth of fine clothing and jewelry. Cool.
Thank God. Okay.
I'm keeping the bag of draconic spices though, because that's going to be some fun stuff later. But yeah, I mean, in terms of stuff to sell off, we didn't really pick up much at the Frost Giants, and everything else got sorted out. So yeah,
Unfortunately, a lot of the Frost Giant stuff was they'd suffered more destruction than occupation or anything else along those lines. So not a lot of worth in the fjord of the north. So you guys gather yourselves and what pieces you have that remain. You head into the great dining hall, where Beardrin and Hadric often hold much of their counsel. This is the same dining hall that Sirach had his tremendous
Acid.
visions.
his episode.
His incident. The unfortunate incident.
The results of his own actions.
That's true.
A consequential evening.
And the honor guard that had initially greeted you when you guys opened this portal back in the Axe Lord's domain is present, and you can see Hadric is going very much sort of quartermaster, master at arms, drill sergeant, checking through all of their gear, checking through it's sort of a dress inspection. To kind of put it together. They are definitely polished and armed. All of their stuff is functional, but there has been an effort put in to make themselves presentable. As you guys enter the room, Beardrin is going to look up from the notes and plans that he has, sort of older journals from the stewards of the House of Shield. And so he is there, and hey, my friends, lovely to see you again. We're just in the process of making our final preparations. Come, speak with me for a moment. I've been poring over these notes from a few generations back, and the Black King was a figure of tremendous honor for us, and the hope, from what I can tell, was never that it would have been this long for us to have unsealed the chamber. We do hope that is a magical nature has preserved him, but there is a possibility that, 1,000 years of darkness set into the madness. Besides, we'll be breaching this chamber with what is unfortunately only a quarter at best of the lordship of these different domains. The fire giants are, well, we could dress one of them as such, and they have the right to claim such lordship over the Fist of the Forge. Haedric has been attempting to convince me that I should take up the role Lord of the House of Shield, but the truth is my family's bloodline is, well, always been that of the Stewards. And I don't know that his worship would take kindly such, well, boldness. Of course, perhaps he might. But it is quite true that we are an Axe Lord and Frozen Fjord short.
Well, I got two small questions for you then.
Sure.
That first one, about you being the steward of the House of Shields and all. If there ain't no one in charge of the House of Shields, that technically makes you the one in charge. Just making sure I got that correct.
No, yes, that is true. I am the one in charge. It is, but there only a king might elevate one from to a royal standing, to a lordship, as it were.
So we need to get this king to knight you before we kill him? Is that what I'm hearing? Because that's what it sounds like.
Well, ultimately, the hope is that he's not interested in killing any of us. To have the Black King back upon and his throne back to unite the people would be a great boon for all of us.
Yes,
But such hopes are mostly found in stories and children. I unfortunately must be far more pragmatic about the potential of what's on the other side.
Which that's going to bring me to my second question there. Once we hop through that portal, how big a fight we expecting? Because if they've been kind of locked up for that 1,000 years and all, I know dwarves are long-lived, but 1,000's kind of pushing it, ain't it?
There were magics in place, but these the traditional life of a dwarf would not last that long. Of course, the Black King himself has been around for nigh on 4,000. The details of which are not afforded to me, unfortunately. They were secrets kept by the four rulers of these different houses, these different lordships, as they were. He took with him his personal guard of the Black Company, and from what these journal notes are telling me, they are, well, they may not have been. The Black King may not have been the most willing of individuals. It seems as though the other four lords sealed his chamber in hopes to preserve the kingdom. But, doesn't look like it was his plan. Was his plan.
Ah. So, the king got put in timeout, so he might be right bit pissed off then.
That is, I suspect, probably what we're looking at, yeah.
I'm gonna need more whiskey.
Well, you're in
So
the right.
Best case scenario, we get the king back on the throne, and everything's right as rain. Step down from that, we get him to acquiesce his crown to you, and have a peaceful transition of power.
You can see Beardren is suddenly you just jumped him like three places. He would like the Black King to return. He at best his hope is to become the new Lord of the House of Shields. But as far as like dwarven leadership that is alive that you have met, Beardren's it. So should he be the new king of these areas? He potentially. If anybody that was alive was going to do it, it would probably be him. But he's not even knighted. Like he's kind of like, whoa, shit, I didn't.
That's fixable. Shh, come on. All right. So, and then bottom of the list, everything goes badly, and we end up just killing everything.
I suppose that is a yes. That is a possibility.
All right.
Okay, well, I mean, glad you don't hesitate on those.
What we've done lately, those three things feel like the more practical choices. It could have been worse. It could have been option 4, planes travel with people, go back in time. Option 5, find this big monster that is actually possessing something and then go kill them first and then go back. Number 6, we got to find a bunch of keys. Number 7, we got to put an entire dragon skeleton back together from bottom up. Like, there's a lot of fucking things that could have happened. Those are very easy. Those are 3 very easy solutions. Would you like me to go on? Because I've got a lot of them. I'm a storyteller.
No.
But I thought,
I think I definitely understand everything you just said and have perfect frames of references for all of those things. So yes, I am hearing
sounds
your
like you do.
language. Yeah.
Well, since killing things is back on the menu,
I'm doing doable and passable.
so any idea about how many we can be expecting over there besides the Black King himself?
Black King and the Black Company, but the numbers described there are sketchy at best. A few dozen, maybe.
So, if the Black King is taken out, will the rest of the Black Company follow whoever's going to be the new king?
I would hope. Yes.
So we try talking to him first. And when that doesn't work, then we just go full martial.
Yeah. Are you all right? Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm good. Are you guys good?
Again, this seems like the simpler of the quests we've had just this weekend.
Honestly, yeah.
I'm still pulling icicles out of my braid.
It's a little refreshing. He doesn't have a braid. He can't grow facial hair.
That one. There we go.
Oh, why did I think beard for some reason? Where got translated to beard.
Because we're talking to dwarves.
You know what?
Yeah, we just melded it. It's like when you fall asleep watching one show, but then you dream about it and they just transplant on top of each other. You're like, what was that? It breaks my brain when that happens. I'm like, wait, those two stories don't belong together, and this is not even a good mashup. I hate it.
So, Virdrin, about all these old stories about the Black Company and all that, don't suppose you have some kind of drawings or such of what their armor looks like?
Oh, I do have some, as a matter of fact, yes. Here, and he'll sort of shuffle through the notes and journals that he does have, and there are depictions, more artistic depictions than like schematics, but there are some artistic depictions about the Black Company.
So yeah, I'd want to pour over some of those with him, but the glamored armor, to just start using the bonus action to have it start changing to look like the armor of the Black Company.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you roll me... Roll me a d20. Add your you can have advantage. Add your proficiency bonus. Let's make it a disguise check. Okay. Proficiency bonus and charisma technically. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's essentially an art project.
All right, so I'm just gonna roll it as performance on D&D Beyond, and then add the proficiency afterwards.
Sounds great.
That would be a total of a 22.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So it is an accurate replication of the Black Company's armor, except for the fact that you're an elf and they are dwarves, right? So some proportions, and you are definitely taller. Like it does not make you look like a dwarf, but it is a well done replication.
It's like if they stretched a dwarf out and shaved him. Fascinating.
That's actually what Eladrin means.
Stretch
Stretched and shaven dwarf. I learn something new every day. Take that, Duolingo.
Oh my lord.
You're welcome.
That's what Sirach is. He's the Duolingo owl.
Ah, there it is. I mean, he hasn't.
Fan art request.
Yeah.
Fan art request.
So are we
I feel
good?
good on it. I feel weirdly more prepared for these simple, clear-cut, accomplishable possibilities than we have in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind a bottle of ale for the road.
Of course, we've met you.
Sounds good. Give me just a moment as I make sure I have everything I need ready to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as we're still getting everything ready, I'll just go to the others like Sirach, Stitch, Treasure, and just kind of show them. So, the jackasses we're gonna be fighting, they're gonna kind of look dressed like this. They're just a lot shorter, a lot hairier, and just kind of show them like the parts of the armor. So I'm sure Treasure will probably try to lift Talroth's arm to kind of see if there's any weak points in like the breastplate or under the arm. It's like maybe show Stitch if there's spots with chainmail he could just shoot an arrow into.
Absolutely.
Same for Sirach.
Yeah. So yeah, it is definitely a modified plate mail, but there are, like any armor, there are those areas that are, there are small gaps and pieces to them. They're not quite the spiked armor of the Battle Rage, sort of the ones that are described in that Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. It's not quite that, but there are definitely, you could see where a dwarf would be like, all right, if I put a bunch of spikes on this, and I just go run and jump and land on somebody, I will absolutely hurt them. You know?
If the Black Company turns out to be a squadron of battle ragers, I'm out.
That's yeah. I mean,
Those
they're
guys are horrifying.
yeah, yeah. They are not cool, are they?
Saride and Thos are making out the corner.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
As they having leveled up, if I may roleplay for a moment,
Please.
having leveled up, everyone else is doing all their prep. Fable's gonna kind of go find a quiet corner and just kind of, it's twice in a row, 2 fights in a row. It was big fire against big ice, and being inside that ice crystal fucked with her, of it literally being both of them. And she goes and she's sitting and it's weird in feeling in the chest, and she sits there and she's just, her hands start kind of crackling with this fire as she said, and it's the feeling that she had the last time that she learned something new that she didn't plan on learning. And she kind of looks, she quietly whispers to herself, or someone who's listening, okay, let's hope this next one doesn't blow up my friends. I guess we'll find out. With all of her effort, she tries to pull it back in and just ice over her hands again and deaden the flame. And just kind of compose herself with that feeling of something new is happening this time. Well, shit. Good.
Okay. As the phalanx of the House of Shields begins to gather, Hadric has one final moment with his boys, and you can tell there is a
One last time.
Relax, have a drink with me.
there is definitely a sense of tension, fear, of concern in the air. And Hadric, remember, is pretty much the oldest dwarf here. He's he's well past retirement age. And
Why his nickname is Pepperidge Farms.
yeah, he does remember. He absolutely does. Remember. And there's something, for them, for this moment. It's bittersweet. They want to be hopeful. They absolutely do. But unfortunately, they, much like you guys, know all too well what is probably waiting for them on the other side. But as they walk out of the hall, out of the great dining hall that has served as this de facto sort of crown room that has... yes, Megan.
What's the king's name?
The Black King's name?
Yeah.
Black King was... who do you ask?
Hadric?
Oh, right, Black King's name. Oof. Now that is an old one. It's a bit of a story, but, he officially lost his name when they traveled in the great exodus south of the east, coming here to the west, and that is why we have long known him purely as the Black King. But he did have a name once upon a time. It was Tsar Rorazar.
Tsar Rorazar?
Rorazar. Rorazar. Ro. You got to roll the R's. Zarrorazar.
Zarazar.
Yes, there it is.
Almost choked. Thank you. Okay. So, if for my little white girl mouth, Zarorazar.
Yeah.
Can we just
For my
call him
notes,
Zar?
thank you. Zarorazar. Shit, I can't do. Okay.
That's not.
King it is.
For you, you speak Primordial. Neither of you speak Dwarvish, right?
But I can cast comprehend language.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Primordial,
if you do while you guys are doing this, you can. I'll give it to you. Piece it together, right? It is an amalgamation of it's sort of the Spanglish version of the Primordial and Dwarven sort of Spanglish together, making sort of a King of Kings is a rough sort of translation. But
That's what his parents named him?
so
They really didn't give him a chance, did they?
Rorazar in Primordial is like prime mountain, greatest of mountains. It is an earth primordial. It is a Terran sort of word to it to denote. It's a prime name. It's a proper name. That's what I'm trying to say. So like among the elemental plane of earth, the greatest mounts, right? And it's constantly shifting, but essentially that is the title of like tallest building in the world, biggest mountain in the primordial plane of earth, right? Is the Rorazar. And so I guess like a pure translation would be like mountain of really big mountains. You know what I mean? But there's also a
Wonder of wonder, miracles of miracles.
yeah. I mean, there's also kind of a so Rorazar was like the family name, right? And they named him a sort of the rolling of the R's in the Dwarven and the implications thereof are that he was a miracle hope sort of thing. And there's a weird like double entendre that ends up directly translating to like mountain of all mountains, but it is the rarity, right? So yeah, that was the last name that we knew the Black King went as before the great exodus. Once his official title or the dwarven lineage was reassumed to be taken away from him, it was about then that took on the moniker of the Black King. It was something he hadn't really settled on, but until he had left the eastern lands of Lictorot, and seeing as there were, what was it, I don't remember those names. What was it? Some sort of like the clockmaker and the bully head face or something like that. Was
he one of the avatars or the whatevers, the chess pieces?
So Hadric doesn't know that, but what he's trying to communicate is that and Hadric sort of spits it out in his own terms. He ends up essentially saying that the Black King took the name in that naming reference as a as a screw you to the people that kicked him out of, because do you remember he led the alliance of his dwarven and giant kin out of what is essentially the playing field of the avatars, rather than see them be used. And when they stole his lineage from him, he's like, well, fine, I'm gonna be the king. I'm gonna be the Black King, and you can't tell me I don't get to be called that.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this dude, and I'm very much on his side at the moment. So
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a mythic figure for them, and he's definitely somebody that that is, you know, he did a lot of good for them. So, as you guys as the doors from the Great Hall are opened out into the apartment city that you guys have spent your time in, that you know very well, you have seen the markets of it, and it definitely keeps dwarven time, which for a reminder of those is there is no day-night cycle, so they keep much more like shifts on a ship, right? Sort of 6-hour shifts of life and rotating, and you've never seen the entirety of the place awake at once, except for now. The dwarves and the fire giants and all of the citizens have sort of gathered together and lined the streets to make this a parade of sorts, and there are cheers of triumph. You see old dwarven women crying tears of witnessing a history that they never expected to witness. The kid, there are many kids, dwarven kids there that are, you know, tugging at skirts and shirt tails and pants, and some of them are being held on dwarven shoulders to get better looks and carried aloft. And there's a moment you can see on Hadric's face that he's afraid and he's sad, but he gives them the order to Ismail like the heroes they think you are. You hear me? And they all do. And with every step they wave, and you see some of the family members of these soldiers come stepping towards them, and without breaking lock or step, though, you know, hands are touched and grips slowly slip from one another. Flowers are cast out onto the street. It's about midway up the road where the fire giants are. And there are 2 of them that are armored. You recognize both. One is your friend from the Forge of the Fist.
Galadine. Is it It's Galadine, right?
Galadine. That's correct. He is dressed in. It looks like he has spent the time, the 3 or so days that you guys were. I guess he was only like a day and a half, really. But we'll say you took a day or 2 off in between, to prep an old suit of armor to fit him. And he is. Do remember, while he has been in the forge. Oh, that is a very large bug. Yeah. He is recently freed from his captors, which you guys did. The suit of armor, even after being modified, it looks like he's wearing his dad's. It is as cinched in as it can be. It is clear that he was never as strong as he is for being a blacksmith And he is. And he was clearly strong compared to the rest of the fire giants that were there. But he's also been malnourished most of his life. And it is clear that that is a suit that doesn't fit him. And next to him, with the fist of the forge, covering the cauterized stump, is, what is his name?
Vloxag!
Vloxag. And as they get closer, Volkslag will lean forward, the hand of the forge sort of, much like a prosthetic hand here, he sort of puts it in position, right? As he lays his hands on his knees and bends very far forward. You can tell he has shaved what 5 o'clock shadow, the embers of his ashen white hair may have been. His head is as bald as can be, and you can tell much of his skin at this point, instead of being the roiling fire that many of the fire giants, even in their diminished state, possess, it looks much more like a fire log, a log in a fire just before it crumples. The mix of black and white and the streaks of red. And he leans down. Well then, tremendous hope. I would ask that we humble remnants of these fisted four be allowed to march with those that kept fires burning through the many years. That my uncle's sacrifice not be in vain. And he sort of gestures to the fist. And Hadric leans over to which one of you is probably closest to okay. He
I went running up when I saw him.
to closest to Hadric?
Oh no, then not to Hadric. She went running up to to
Okay.
She loves.
Yeah. Hadric sort of leans over. It's a most dedicated man I've ever seen. Giant, I suppose, too. Took his own hand. And his uncle, as king, lost it to the giant. Never thought a sacrifice should be held alone by a ruler.
Just going to instinctually open and close my hands, just thinking back on a few things and just shake it out.
Beardrin looks at Volkslag. It had been an honor to have you in our presence every day. And there is no truer person in this mount or any other that deserves to set foot within the Black King's chamber than you, great Vloxlag. It is our honor to escort you. And so the fire giants fall in lock and step as the parade carries on. To the end of the chamber, you all reach. The last half dozen or so of the company stop and form a shield wall to prevent any of the citizens or other individuals from following you all further. And into the halls of the House of Shield you go. And as you listen ever so quietly, there are slight grumbles. Hey. There's a number of dwarves, each their own moment. Clear the snot from their nose and the tears from their eyes. And settle their gut to the task that lies. Down into the depths of the House of Shield you go. Marching from heel to toe. Paths wind, fires dim. To the chamber. You begin. First, Hadrid takes the Axe Lord's handle, sets it to place. Next, Galadine places the frozen crown in its place. Frozen helm to its place. Bloxlag uses the Fist of the Forge to ignite its particular mechanism. And Beardrin ascends the steps, places the shield of the house behind its throne. And he turns to you all. Friends, none of this is possible without you. If one of you would be so kind as to place the Black King's key, and he looks to Hadric. They call it the key of bonking.
Yeah, I know it's not the most official, polite
Shy
name.
away from that. It's going to go down in history with that name.
Yeah, we're just looking at each other like, what key is he talking? Do we have a key? Oh, the bonking. Yeah, the bonking.
If you be so kind as to put it into place, we, the moment has arrived.
All right, yeah, I'll take it up.
Okay. Into the keyhole it goes, and this mace-sized key, this key essentially for giants, wielded by dwarves, potentially as a weapon that Clever Stitch once used to bash skeletons to and fro. Yes, to bonk them, as it were. Slides into position. You guys have seen this done at least 2 other times. It is what has allowed you to travel to the Forge of the Fist and to the Frozen North. The key at this point, however, begins to turn on its own. It is the only time it has done that, but the rest of the throne area for the House of Shields has been thoroughly illuminated as each of these items was put into place. Key begins clicking, something like a music box without the notes, just the the gentle clicking, turning. And it stops. Then blue and green light ignites through the chamber, the large portal, the arcane gate that covers vast distances. This modified magic is shedding tremendous light throughout the room. Beardrin steps down from the throne, the House of Shields, having never sat in it, merely put the shield into place. And as he begins to go, Hadric steps in between him and the portal. It's been... Let this old dwarf one last honor. And he nods, gives him places his hand on his shoulder, and the two hear that moment and embrace. And Hadric steps through the portal. A long, cold breath lingers in each of your lungs. The dwarves shift in their armor and look towards Beardrin. Casts his eyes to the side. Raises his hand. Give him a moment. The long minute stretches. Another. Beardrin lets out a sigh. Alright. Enough of him. And the shield wall forms up and leads the procession. Beardrin rapidly behind them, the giants bringing up the rear. They usher you towards the portal. You step through, the arcane energies enveloping you, casting you across vast distances, and into a very dark chamber appear. The phalanx of the House of Shields spreading out, creating a wall along all sides. Little bits of glowing light off of their helmets. While they can see in the dark, and I know you all can as well, the fire giants cast enough light to open into the room. This room is... You have seen the vast halls that each of these lords has occupied. Halls that were large enough for giants to hold court. Halls that were football fields squared. And here, it looks as though they are the space of each of those combined. Volkslag reaches up, touches one of the raised rafters, his good hand having peeled back part of the chain. The embers of his finger catch alight as this oil begins to trace flame throughout the entirety of the room. Up high, the roof begins to light. Down, the flames shed their illumination. First, eerie, settling red. It casts over everyone's armor, shimmering back. The red turns to a sunset orange. And then to a brilliant, brilliant gold. And it's not the light, but it's the vast wards, coins, bars and plates, filigree that lines every statue, every inch, nearly, embellished with some precious metal, silver and platinum, copper and bronze. It is brilliant to behold. Dwarves, their eyes alight, more wealth than any of them could have possibly dreamed. Stare about it all. There. Hear the heavy footsteps of a rushing, armored dwarf, was scattering to his knees, sliding as though he were playing some dwarven version of baseball, letting out the call, Hedrick! You look over the phalanx, each of you about a head taller, if not between the heads. Beardrin, having thrown himself outside of the wall, holds seemingly the unconscious body of his seneschal. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Awesome. Okay.
No, thank you. Thanks for that panic anxiety. Why did you do that to him? Why?
Thanks for hanging out. We're going to be back in a very quick and legitimate 10 minutes. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in just a few, but until then, stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have...
Caitlin playing Fable Frost, the Ace Genasi Phoenix Soul Sorcerer.
Megan playing Sarai Landir, the Eladrin Glamour Bard.
Howdy all, this is Maz. I am Talroth Oakenblade, the Wood Elf Scout.
All right, so when last we left our heroes, they had just discovered that Hedrick, who had taken it upon himself to venture into the Black King's chamber and hadn't yet returned. You guys had just gone into the chamber. Beardrin, screaming his name, was breaking through the shield line and sliding to his knees to hold and cradle the conscious Hedrick. And just as the echoes of Hedrick's name begin to fall, you hear heavy steps, similar to the dwarves, similar to the shield wall, as seemingly these marching bits of ghost-like armor come stepping out of the coins, out of the treasure that had lined all of these walls, and into the spreading light. There is a large throne in the center of the room, and on the throne there is a suit of dwarven armor. Ornate, but comparatively old, almost demure, lacking style, pure function, but black. Blackest piece in this entire treasury.
Am I the only one getting flashbacks to Diablo 3 of Leoric?
Oh no, that's exactly what this is. I just realized, like, oh god, it's the Black King's legacy. All right, cool. So the good news is, once we touch it, we've got a good 15 minutes before that armor reassembles, and we can actually start the fight.
Amazing. I feel better.
From the armor, stepping out is this ghostly white ethereal presence. A dwarf of oddly young age. His beard, eyebrows, his hair. You can tell, even in the ghost, in the pale ember of ghost light, they are deep, thick, coal black. And silently, steps are made and yet hovering an inch or more off of the ground. Descends from the throne. The psychic emanations of his voice ring into each of your ears and across the company. And who is it that has come at last to free the Black King?
Sarai is going to drop into a really deep curtsy and pull Fable gently down with her.
Okay.
Just so I don't say, hello, my name's Fable, do you want to be friends?
Oh no, you absolutely can, but it's just more
He
like,
does.
hey, do it from a place of subservience. Absolutely.
Then she does so as she default.
And the Phalanx company, having no immediate commander around, right, or lower commanders, right, or they hold their stance. The fire giants prepare to follow, take knees, or bow as best as giants can. Beardrin clearly focused on Hedrick.
How far are they from us?
20, 30 feet?
Um,
I'm going to say 20, 30 feet from the shield wall. You're probably 10, 15 feet behind that.
so they're within 60 though.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to call out to Beardrin. I believe that this is your purview as steward. You should leave Hadrig to his rest and cast healing word on him.
Okay. Yeah, you cast healing word on Hadric. He doesn't seem to stir, but Beardrin sort of, he hears you. Vlosalag will step forward as he takes his mighty Black King. I am nephew of Roslock, last of the lords of the forge. The last, you say? Yes. Yes. His mighty fist choked to death the Ragredu. It was his dying dedication that gave him such strength. Sacrifice is noted. And you? Beardrin looks up. I am Beardrin, steward of the House of Shields. Second, third, eternal, my service to your highness. And where, my Frost Jarl?
I just pretended. Okay.
Did my lord, they, the entirety of the Frost Giants died either in dragon attack or lost their souls to there's evil. And where is my axe lord? The entirety of their line, the entirety of their fortress, destroyed, collapsed in on itself. Protect the rest of your subjects. The ghost continues to step forward. No. I am without a right hand, blind to the north, crippled south, and stunted my flank. Your Highness would see it so. I would not argue. So there are no lords left to apologize for my imprisonment. Beardrin sort of looks back. Yeah. We bring what splendor we have. What nobility is left. That is appreciated of you. Then tell me, Steward, what would you ask of this king? Your aid? To see our people, our dwarves, what few of us are, our fire giant kin. Any giants, any descendants that you had led out of the east? To be once more safe in our domains, returned to our glory that you once led us to. And he is glancing back to, like, he's kind of panicking, not panicking, but he's like, I was ready, but I wasn't ready. You know what I mean?
I've already thrown my hood up over carefully, and if I can find a spot to just break line of sight so they can't see me, to try to stealth and just slowly start snaking my way around to the king.
Okay.
So Ride's gonna break the line and come up next to Beardrin, keeping her head bowed. My liege, I would like to. Well, I think perhaps Beardrin was Yeah, thanks. Was a little short, telling you of the full retinue that he brought with him. He also brings with him a pledge from the Eladrin of Sheolandir, and whatever I can't remember, but that stupid tower that's on the other side. The zoo,
Oh, the menagerie of...
whatever that is. Yeah. And the zoo.
Tears of Shay Loren?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, there we go. The zoo.
Okay, and we're... for my clarity,
Yes.
the Tears of Shay Loren, and were you pledging where you were from?
Yes.
Okay.
To add to oh fuck, what's it called? The zoo. We're giving you the zoo. You're running the zoo, my dude. Congratulations. Hey!
Here, we brought you puppies.
We brought you tigers.
That's how friendship works.
Yep. Here, feed it. Yes, for trade, for aid, to make up for the losses that you have suffered.
These are tremendous gifts and great boons. As he speaks and he's crossing this distance, his body does sort of phase into the ethereal and then back to being invisible and then visible once more. Yeah, the Tears of Shay Lorraine.
But he's always spectral, right? He's never.
Oh, he's always ghost spectral. There's just times where he's like not their ghost spectral, and then times where he is their ghost spectral. There are... That does fill one. You represent which domain?
Megan's not sure. What's the question?
He's asking you. You're a representative of which domain? You listed two. He's asking you which one.
Oh, of Shay Landir. Or whatever the fuck. It's not Shay. The Roses and Thorn Tower.
Yeah. I get it.
I'm doing so good tonight, y'all.
That was magical.
I got you. Give me a quick second. I will get the right one. Oh, that's not what I needed. I'll find it later. It's fine. Nothing worth stopping over. Oh, well that's why, because it's not Felidrin, it's Eladrin.
That's what we call the dudes.
Yeah. Hey,
Felidrin!
Ladies and Felidrin.
Off to go! Fades. It's Faye.
Oh.
Yeah, Felidrin, and yeah, Thades.
Terrible. Ugh. Oh wow. All right. Let this go. OCD. Let it go. Let it. All right. Letting it go. Okay. That does cover one domain. And I hope you've brought a fourth.
Talroth has fucked right on off, so, Can roll an insight check to see if you're looking for like people who represent a lot of people or people who have a link to a unique plane or world or city or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, make an insight check.
Please and thank you. Where is my character sheet? There you are. Oh, this is gonna go badly. Oh, I don't roll on this anymore. I just do damage on it because it hates me. Oh, that wasn't bad though. So that's a 16.
16. You... He's not making any effort to hide his emotional state. He's a ghost, so yeah, little obvious, but it almost helps him being ghostly because his form sort of mirrors his strong emotional state, right? He is definitely annoyed that that the lords that locked him away are not here. He's looking for. He'll take what he would really like is like 2 other kingdoms to be here and be like, you are the king. But he's taking whatever he can get at this point.
And you said he's named after the Earth.
Yeah.
Meg, do you want to then I'm
Shaylor Lindar.
there you go.
Thank you.
So, Fable will stand up again. My liege, I know from your glorious name, filled with power, that you are, in your own way, a representative of the element called Earth. I come to offer you the rest of them. And she is going to, all at once, just between ignite and prestidige and whatever, just be ice and fire. And I am yet to find my way to them, but my connection to the elemental planes, multiple of them, as you can see from my very being, is quite strong. And I have no doubt that I'll be able to harness those powers for your aid, sir, to fill in where you may have elemental gaps.
His eyes narrow over you as his form flickers out into the faded ethereal. He sort of presses back. Is a noble offer, but don't know that it's enough to rebuild one of the. Yet
Don't you?
you do much frozen north that has been lost to me. Is this the best that we have to offer? He's not. I may have said it's snarky. He's not trying to be snarky. He's genuinely at like. Is this
Sounds
your
like
offer?
your DM voice saying that though sounds like the quest line of, "Are you sure you want to end this conversation when you haven't checked every option?" And we're like, "Fuck."
No, I'm.
Also, we, and she'll motion to, okay, just Fable, collectively are representatives of the Magnus Exploratorium, or Explore. I've played this game before, guys.
It was the Magnus Exploratorium. You're good.
Okay. And we've been sent as emissaries to find and to gather information, but also to open up communication with other places. We could offer an entire college of mages at your disposal, and she'll take a very respectful step forward and kind of put herself between Beardrin and him. We, and I specifically, might be able to offer you the most wonderful gift of all. revenge against the Avatars.
It is an interesting offer. And to be sure, there are many vengeances, justices to be had, both against worms of the West and the manipulators. But this new entity you speak of is enough to fill the whole my kingdom. Your Aladrin, your Explorator. This leaves but one question. Who then is my volunteer?
I was gonna say me because I'm genuinely curious what would happen with too much already trying to happen here. For science, I would like to volunteer.
Okay. You volunteer, Fable volunteers. And and the Black King sort of walking his body phases out and then phases back in. That is a kind, brave offer, but no,
God.
spirit of ice and fire. No, you, from what you have volunteered, is to bring mages to settle my northern border. Hold the mountains north. No, I cannot take your position, same as I had never taken Bodhi the Giant. And then he's walked past Saride at this point and is kneeling directly over Hadric across from Deirdre. Hey, Steward. It looks as though you are the closest nobility that is left amongst the dwarves. Salat. I would grace you the eternity of the Black King. Beardren doesn't really know what to do. He's kind of looking.
So you're saying you're fine with Beardren being the next king? Is that what I'm hearing?
There is and his voice picks up and shakes. In fact, I need all three of you to roll wisdom saving throws.
I was thinking that would be enough of a vocal that we could just be like, great, we're done. Like, you're done.
DC 19.
What was the skill?
Wisdom save.
Fuck. That's an 8.
11.
As his voice booms, the walls shake. Bits of dust crumble from the ceiling. There is only one Black King. It is I, having sacrificed generations, children, love, dreams, and my very name. There is only one. Beardrin looks up. I and he looks at Saride. And he just mouths.
I want to kill him. I want to kill him. We have to stop.
Can I do anything? Like, am I?
So you are under the fear condition. You cannot move closer to the Black King. Attack rolls and things are at disadvantage. But you technically can do whatever you would like.
Okay. She's going to start quietly singing. So technically it's counter charm to sort of help calm him down a little bit.
Okay.
But about something like not trashy patriotic, but doing what's necessary
Sure.
to save people and just, he's brave. He's a big brave boy.
Listening to those words, Talroth, what do you got? Sorry.
What I was going to ask was, am I close enough to see if I can see Beardrin, if this is something where he's waiting for us to jump in and attack the king?
Thank you. That is
Or
what I would like to know, please.
Yeah. So first, did you make a stealth check as you began sneaking yet?
yes,
Well-
and I still have the roll up here. It was a total 20.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you're fine. The Black King does not know where you are. He's not paying attention to you. I don't know that you have stealth from the Black Company that is essentially kind of surrounding you guys, but you have broken line of sight, and you've been able to you definitely would not know where the Black King wouldn't be aware of you, right? Looking at Beardrin, he's kind of he's not asking you to. He hasn't thought about attacking yet, right? But this was he's Beardrin's a good leader, but he didn't plan on sacrificing himself when he came through the portal. He didn't want to sacrifice any of his people. And he's weighing now the value of his own life against Hadrix, against his friends, against the good that he does kind of believe that the Black King could do. And he's just not sure. So as you're looking at him, he will look to the king, whose Galadriel moment has begun to diminish.
Thanks. I hate it.
And who would look after the House of Shields? A good point, my young steward. A good point. If you'd prefer, then that seat may. But you are the steward, are you not? I am, as my father was. I hoped my son would be. Ah. You have a son? I've never known that joy. Never could. Oh, he kneels there. So it is your choice. The Black King requires dwarven blood. Yours. Your seneschals. Your son.
Saride is now shaking her head in the background.
Beardrin looks around to see if you have any input.
You might. She can't move, but Fable just.
You can move away.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to move away from him. She wants to stay.
Sure.
You've done a lot of good on your own, Beardrin. I think you could keep doing it if you choose to. You're the kind of steward that we write stories and tell songs about. By yourself. If that's your choice. You don't need anything else to make it good enough. If that's your choice. It has to be yours.
Go ahead.
I was going to message him so that it's just between him and I. That's a king who cannot keep a kingdom does not deserve a kingdom.
And yours was, yeah, got it. Messaged, got it. So, what am I rolling?
Both of you roll persuasion checks.
Fucking hell. Big die.
While that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like out of line of sight of the king, but if Beardrin is able to see me, I'm just going to slowly with my thumb push one of the swords out just in case.
Using luck, by the way, because I think I can do better than that.
Okay.
$21.
28.
Ha ha! Ha ha!
Okay.
I didn't know we had a kid. That changes everything, man.
The fact that he's not sure, the fact that this man walked in, chins held high, it's one last time, it's one final whatever, knowing that something was going to change, and stood there and was not okay.
Multiple people, not multiple. Yeah.
You what?
Sorry, that was just that one man walked in, chins held high. Wow.
Fuck off.
Here is what I would like you guys to do. Okay. Black King's pretty persuasive himself. Beardrin's having a crisis moment, right? I'd like each of you to roll a d4. Okay. On a you don't have to take the one these are your options. Okay? On a 4, we'll fuck the Black King. We're going to kill him. Okay? On a 3, it'll be Hadric. On a 2, it'll be the sun. On a 1 would be Beardrin. Okay? So both of you roll a d4.
4. I will take a picture.
You got a 1?
I got a 4.
Okay. Black King's was a 1 too. Now, you guys you did out persuade him. with the 20. I mean, 21 was very close. 21 was definitely higher. So these are your options. Beardrin has settled that he is not going to give up his kid. He is not going to sacrifice Hadric. So this is your Dragon Age choice moment, okay? If you, and I'm gonna lay them out for you, so that you guys have the choice, okay? If you decide to revitalize the Black King, he'll be he's a solid ruler. He's done a lot of good for the world. He'll probably help you fight the Avatars. He'll definitely help you fight some Black Kings. He will expect you to bring mages to settle the north. He will expect you to bring Fae to hold the eastern border. But that is the course of action you guys are committing to do. If you go with killing the Black King and Beardrin staying alive, the dwarves might recover in time, but they will definitely be crippled. The gold that is in this chamber and the magic items may be helpful, but the strength of arms and military that you guys would be able to apply to your own goals will not be there, right? They'll always be your allies. He might be able to send help, give you some money, help you do other things, but Beardrin will be completely focused on rebuilding this massive kingdom that has suffered a long time, right? So this is your choice, and I know it might be like a little metagamey, but I want.
There, we would understand the dwarven politics going into this.
Yeah, there's a fair
yeah.
amount of like unseen sort of information that's kind of.
That's why it doesn't metagamey, because we would have taken the time to learn. Our characters would have learned the dwarven politics in a way that we did not have time as players to learn. So that's helpful.
Yeah,
I'm good.
So as a group, right? I give you guys a moment out of character. You guys have the I'm gonna call it the Lily and Marshall psychic conversation amongst you guys.
You want famous conversations.
If you want to message any of the other teammates that like, I'm sure Kez is probably within earshot if she has input. Everybody's welcome to put it in. This is your choice.
It breaks my heart, but I think we gotta sacrifice Bearden.
I know, I hate it. I fucking hate it.
I honestly don't like the idea of promising two different nations that have nothing to do with this to get involved in something they might not even agree with.
That's true, but then then if we don't, we're still promising the possibility. We're then reneging on a promise that we offered in the first place. Either way, it is a slippery.
I mean, so we already have the research team with us. We could just leave them here, and if we explained it to the Exploratorium as you're setting up a research facility in, like, obviously they're still Marshall or whatever it is that he wants them to be, but it's, that I think the Exploratorium would get something out of this as well.
I will be clear. I will let you know the Exploratorium, easy, right? The Fae City is a quest. It's a trip home.
I'm just gonna start a really, really, really good letter writing campaign. It's fine.
So the Exploratorium, this is up the alley, right? You guys having the Republic of the Black Gem, it's intended to make first contact, to make deals, to, you know what I mean? Them being able to have a fortress west of the Warden's Wall that they don't even know exists, right, is valuable to them. And they've already made contact with the Wildlanders that are out here, right? That part, easy. The Fae, the Eladrin would be a quest, and maybe not a huge one, maybe a huge one. Who knows? But it is a quest.
So yeah, I'm still sticking with Beardren.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. Taking it all into consideration, and even with the fear in Beardren's eyes, Fable just quietly says, like I said, they'll sing your songs either way.
All right.
We'll sing.
Kez seems to be in support of the Black King, from what I am reading. Unless there is a huge inswell of other. Yeah, no, and it will be. It is. Let me put it this way: Beardren is on. He'll be on board either way. You're not gonna force him.
Cody trying not to railroad us and instead leaving us crippled by indecision and panic.
The decision is the drama. Talroth.
Yeah, I know. I'm not disagreeing with it.
Yeah, because I'm thinking Mars might have misunderstood what was going on, because I thought we were coming here to take out the king.
That was an option, right? Instead, you've been faced with this Sophie's choice, as it were, right? You can absolutely take out the king. You will still gain. The ultimate thing, what you're deciding here, is who's going to rule this kingdom, right? If you take out the Black King, Beardren will rule. The dwarves will have a harder time recovering, but having all of this wealth, they'll be able to, right? They might migrate away. They might leave these particular, the House of Shields, the Forge, all of that, right? Under the Black King, he intends to rebuild, and with your help or without it, mete out vengeance and justice against both the dragons and the avatars.
And that's the part where I'm still concerned, because weren't we trying to help some of the avatars instead of going against all of them?
Yeah, some of them. The nuance of it can exist. He is not scorched earth. He is, from what you know of him, both historically and kind of what he's presented here, right? He didn't immediately attack you. He hasn't. He asked who you were, who he had at his disposal to rebuild his kingdom. He did not take anybody, right? He's scary, and he's old, but you're now figuring out this is why he's old, right? The lords of his domains have helped him reincarnate into these people. That's why he's always been young, and that's why he's been around.
Oh, and that's why he's so young.
Yes, that's why he's so young.
Gross, but
yeah, I mean, it is. It's not. Listen, it's not great. I'm not. You know what I mean? But just to be clear, he's not evil, right? It's not great having to sacrifice Beardren. He's also not going to railroad you into killing all of the avatars or anything like that. Like, he has proven himself to be at least reasonable, if not in reputation, than in this particular practice, right? Mars, if you have any other reservations, it's your opportunity to voice them, but it seems the group is leaning that direction.
I'll put the sword back in.
Okay.
Can't see him, but Fable can feel the shift in the wind. She's like,
So I will let you know as Beardrin is looking at you all. He's hearing the arguments that you guys are making. He looks at Tauroth before you put the sword back in, and he'll shake his head no. And he looks at the Black King, and he's still cradling Hadrian. Can you revive him? Yes, I believe I can. Please. And he reaches a ghostly hand to the chest of Hadric, and as he presses it, pulls it out, the air. Hadric, I have a favor I need you to do for me. Anything for you, Brethren. Blush. Tell her I love her. Okanar is to be new lord. You are the steward now. You watch over him till he's old enough. No, don't argue with me. I led the dwarves this far, but I can take them no further. You take care of my family, though. Hadric begins to weep. Nods. Beardrin stands up. Alright. Ready when you are. This way. Black King. My elements are the frozen magics of the north. You stand over there. The throne is a bit big for you, but in the meantime, I expect you to accept it. You, Aladrin, keeper of seasons, to the east. Axes might be replaced with roses, but I suspect those thorns to be poisoned. Roslag. No, my lord. I am too old and broken. But Galadine has held the Forge of Fire. He is the Forge Lord now. And you are honored, Galadine. You, the industry of the South. Steward, Hadric. Shall guard our flank to the west. And he leads Beardrin up to the throne, the Black King. The armor begins to rattle. It lifts off, the bones beneath clattering to the floor and forming to dust. Spirit helps disrobe Beardrin of his current armor. The Black King's mail placed upon him. This here be our seat. From here, watch the south, east, and west. Regard the night. Those who wait. Fable representing the Exploratorium North. The ice begins to catch at her feet. Blue energy seeps into the floor. The seasons roil into a rainbowish design, creep across the floor, out of Saride. Fires, the new Forge Lord, ignite on the floor, south. Hadric into the shallow channels from the west. They fill the troughs, the sorrowful energy. As each of those forces comes to swirl about the central throne, the dais upon which it sits, Beardrin, and the spirit that has been speaking for so long. Shake. Shudder. The armor rattles. His face contorts, but no scream. They become one. When the wind, the light, fire, the tears, frost, all die down. You see Beardrin. Yet, he seems different. His hair thicker, darker. His face somber. He lifts the helm from his head, places it onto the throne. Beardrin loved you all. You outsiders. The dwarves, giants. He's not gone. He exists here within me, as they all have. They all do. As we all do. This is difficult. But for Beardrin, we will see this kingdom turn. The glory he always dreamt it to be. Now, Black Company is your time to rest. The armors rattled. Now is the age of Ingdor. With that, we're going to end the scene. We're going to end tonight shortly. You guys are titled to a chunk of treasure. You have claimed, at least within this court, 2 titles of nobility. And the responsibility that comes with it. Beardrin is gone. Hadric is broken on his return. Of all the lads he thought he'd lose, Beardran wasn't. And for a moment, for many moments, as the Phalanx is helping to gather coins and relics and all of these endless baubles, the Black King gives orders, a face that is once familiar and alien to Hadric. You swear the old man is going to break, live the rest of his life at the bottom of a keg. But when you step back through the portal, back to the House of Shields, when he sees Beardran's family, and they know, and he knows they know, puts himself together, and he takes that young boy in his arms, and he lifts him up on his dwarven shoulder. Your father, know what he did? Rebuilt the House of Shields. Found heroes to save a kingdom. And these people centuries. And when you're old enough, I'm gonna how to do it even better. Because it seems ever so trite talk of treasure and gold and magic items after that. I think this is where we're gonna say goodnight.
I would just like to add, whenever they're all home and together and sitting at dinner at something, Fable's gonna find her way over to him. Just sit down quietly and say, "Tell me a story about him."
The young dwarf does. He is prepubescent, but he does. He remembers his father well, as they all do. And those that know the Phalanx, the new Black Company, those that were there spend the night away, telling stories and remembering their friend. The Black King stays far from that chamber that day. Instead, he is immediately about the business, building these dwarves. Your guts, knots, sacrifice hurts, but you should take at least some old comfort in the fact that, at the very least, it seems the Black King will be good at his job. Thank you, my friends, for hanging out with us. Didn't expect tonight to be a downer. Kind of expected you guys to just kill the dude, and that is a-okay. I hope you enjoyed it. We do sometimes get into some heavier stuff. This is Disasters in Danger. Normally we have a few more players. Excited for more PvP stuff. Keep track of the socials for more. For our schedule coming up this week, things are still in flux with us as we settle up different shows. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Sorry we didn't chuck more dice, but we will next time. And we'll see you next time. So until then, I should find the out loop. I should do that. I know we already rated, but I'm doing it anyway. End arc. All right. We'll see you next time. Be cool.